How's it going, everybody, and welcome to another ride along with RONIN 47R. The Tank Bowl is done and we are the champions. So then what did we win? Why, we won the Panther M10, or the champion Panther M10. Huh?
May I have your attention, please? Will the real
Panther M10.
lady please stand up? I repeat, will the real
Panther M10.
please stand up?
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. That's stupid. All right, so in all seriousness, so yes, the championship is over. Germany won for the 2017 Tank Bowl. And let's go ahead and take a look at how we got the tank, which was getting this by playing a whole bunch of these types. German tanks, tiers 3 and up. All right, so welcome to the garage. Let's go ahead and jump over to the store and take a look at what is for sale. The KV5, the Chinook High KV5s again. Aha, we have the German Tank Bowl, Germany Tank Bowl Championship tank. 100% 0 gold. And that is because we came in, if you were in Germany's corner, and you've earned the participation award and won, then this is free to you. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this thing. Purchase it for a whopping 0 gold. Will do. So there you go. It is the Panther M10, but it's the champion variant, if you will. 1 garage slot, some shells in the tank itself. All right, jumping back to the garage, we can go ahead and bring up premium, medium, German, and jump to the chase by pulling up the tier 7. I'll bring him up with a favorite. Bring him up with a favorite. Oh, there we go. And now that his favorites are gone, abracadabra. Now we have these two guys sitting side by side. There you go. Pretty cool. Yeah, you can't beat free. Free's good. God awful decorations though. That's cool in the back though. That's pretty nifty. That is nifty. For the record, they didn't say 100% crew in the store. They usually do that. And it looks like electrical tape. All right, who put electrical tape around the barrel? That's interesting. And Tank Bowl Champion 2017. All right. Anyways, looking at the right-hand side really quickly. 26, 38, 22, etc. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like over here. And you can see nothing changes except for what? The concealment is different by 6? That is crazy. All right, so concealment 0.19, 0.15. Over here it says 0.16, 0.12. Huh. All right, well, whatever. Interesting. So I'm more incentive this tank if everything else is the same. That is pretty silly. All right, let's go ahead and see what you can do here. Nope, the paint is the paint. That is what it is. You can throw on. Oh. Okay. Oh, scared me. Yeah, I mean, I like winning. That's pretty cool, but yeah, I mean, having the big giant billboard of a sign on the hood or in the front of the tank, I think is good enough. I can go ahead and get rid of the championship shield there on the side. Everybody and their brother's gonna have that same thing. I want to go ahead and get this thing a little more, oh, what's the word? Oh, look, oh, it's the American one. Get a little more individualized. So there you go. All right. Oh, what the? Hey, man. That's just not right. What? Why, I gotta... Phew. All right, there you go. We are the champions, my friend. In your face. Just kidding. That's not how I am. That's stupid. All right, so here you go. Quick glance. And we're going to go ahead and have to take this thing out for a spin, right? And just show it off and see who the heck else out there has this tank. All right, next step. Okay, so here we have the tanks side by side. This is the Panther 5, or just Panther M10. And then the shortened name is Champion, but it's really the Champion Panther M10. They're side by side here. And going back and forth, you can see they are exactly the same when it comes to specs, except for one item, and that is concealability. I do not understand why the Champion has a better concealment rating than the regular Panther M10. Taking a look at the armor, again, both tanks are exactly the same. For all intents and purposes, just consider this kind of a middle-of-the-road Panther. Looks pretty cool, though. I mean, if you've already owned the Panther M10, which, by the way, a little point of irritation, this used to be a semi-rare or even a rare tank. Once upon a time, it used to actually cause conversations because people would say, "What the heck tank are you driving?" But now they seem a lot more common. But getting back to this, the German team, the German nation has won. This was the prize for whether you are the American nation or the German nation. And they picked this tank, probably pretty obvious, because this is a German tank disguised as an American tank, which actually did occur during World War II. The nickname for this tank is the War Crime. Now, what I'm doing is showing you that I'm going to try to put a crew in the Panther M10. Well, you only have the German choices of crew to put in that. I'm going to go ahead and put a crew member into the Panther M10, the Champion Panther M10, and there you go. You have choices between the Americans and Germans. Proof right there. I'm going to go ahead and pick Kraft's Panther. Mr. Kraft himself, he's pretty crafty. I'm going to put him in there. So now I have two German medium drivers that I've been developing in each of those tanks. And you can see again, completely identical, other than, of course, the cosmetics that we've kind of already touched on before. So have you guys driven a Panther before? More specifically, have you driven a Panther M10 before? These types of tanks, and I'm not going to tell you how to play them. I mean, I'm not going to be that arrogant, but I will tell you how I play them. And these types of tanks, for me, with a slight touch of gun depression challenge, needs to be kept in mind. These tanks are kind of a support snipery type of tank. They're not quite tank destroyer snipey. They're not going to be forever away, but you are going to be finding spots coming up, and when you do find something, a good spot to hunt in, you'll go ahead and take your shots until it is unsafe to be there. You'll pull back, reposition, that sort of thing. Not super fast, and I shouldn't say that. It's not super agile. It's not agile on its feet as far as, hull rotation and acceleration. As far as top speed is concerned, mind you, it does get up pretty decently. Again, very similar to your middle-of-the-road Panther. But this tank, again, is more sniperish. So to me, when I think of Panther, or the class of Panthers, I think of flanking. That's really the word that comes to mind here. So on this particular map, we have a standard battle. And I'm going to go ahead and swing to the side like you've already seen me do. And kind of play the zero line, watching what's going to happen. There's not too many greens on this side, and I'm kind of trying to decide what I should do to assist, because we do have a pretty decent tank up there. It's the Champion. It's a tier 7. We have a light tank. They're kind of going at it one-on-one. So our guy needs some assistance, so I felt it was necessary to push up, risk it, because this needed to be done right now. Now, with the particular gun that you have here in the Panther M10, it's a very fast-firing, low alpha type of gun. Actually, a pretty decent accuracy at 0.35. I've seen better, but gosh, I'll take 0.35 over 0.40 any day. I think that was the M4 doing a blind shot off the distance there. So repositioning over here to the center, because I want to peek over and see if I can hit some of those heavies that are in the middle of the map. Meanwhile, I am keeping an eye on what's happening over here to my left, which is the southeast. Ridges are your friend and they're your enemy. Kind of peeking over and fighting that gun depression. However, Riding the ridge, in my opinion, is very important because it's a very quick escape route, because it lowers your elevation when you feel you are spotted and somebody's going to be shooting at you. Okay, went ahead and got a piece of the Tiger 131's turret. And you can see again, if you're familiar with this class of gun, you're looking at 130, 140 if you're lucky, 151, I guess I was lucky there. But you know, it's pretty fast, pretty accurate. It's basically, I consider it a needler. You know, if you can get a good spot and get a few shots in, it's not too shabby. But you cannot do the gamble move like you would with a very large alpha type gun, where you're saying, okay, I'm going to swing around this corner and risk it, and just if I just get that one good blast into him, he's done. You can't do it with this tank because there's not that one big blast. What you do have, though, on this tank is an outfit that I've set up, which I feel is very nice for the Panther, and that is the vents, gun rammer, and the binocs. So that way I'm emphasizing, enhancing, if you will, the attribute of seeing further out. Now, I believe that the default is 350 meters, which is not very impressive at all. So trying to make up for that, because again, I'm going to be standoffish, and yes, your teammates will spot the other tanks, but you'd be surprised how often it comes in handy. Notice the aim time and the firing. It's a kind of a key element whenever I'm selecting equipment for a tank. I'm not moving, right, except for the turret, but the hull's not turning. And when you see those moments where I am completely stationary, I fire, and then the gun is recovering from the first shot. A good formula for me is I do not need a GLD if the reload and the aim time tightens up at the same time, or very close to the same time. So, translation, with this tank here, you find a position, your binoculars kick in, you stay stationary, you're aiming in, you fire, you get an accurate shot. You're potentially revealed, maybe you're not revealed because of the shot, but after that shot, the gun is recovering and it's aiming in again, but your binoculars are still on, and you're still getting that visual. So then when it reloads and it's completely reloaded and you're ready for the next shot, your aim circle, your reticle, should have already been shrunken all the way, or has just completed right after the reload. If that is what is occurring, then that is proof that you do not need a GLD. Now, in a situation where that is occurring and you do want to use a GLD, my opinion is that would only come in handy if you are going to play very, very aggressively. You come up and over. You're not doing distance stuff. You're like doing close, I mean, very medium / close range, popping up and over. And you're going to come up and over, you stop, you go to take your shot, and at that point, yes, you want to aim in as quickly as possible. But again, that's about play style and preference, and personally, I think you should play to the strengths of the tank, but, you know, whatever. You can play this tank however you wish, no judgment. But I feel, at least with my play style, with this type of tank in my hands, it is a tank where I'm going to play at distance, and therefore I'm going to go with binoculars, and everything works out just swimmingly when it comes to the, see the aim in? I am completely aimed in and only have a millisecond to wait for the reload to complete. So for me, the way I play this tank with this equipment works out very, very well. There are other tanks where I do not use binoculars, and I will go with the GLD. In fact, T-3488, there you go. That's a tank that, you know, basic medium principles are in place, but I'm not going to be a sniper. I'm a lot more aggressive with that tank. The recently come out tank from Czechoslovakia, the Žižka Škoda, I use that like I do a Panther. Even though the aim is very challenging, it is not a brawling tank, so therefore I'm very standoffish with it. Now in this particular battle, as I've been babbling along, you've been getting a nice showcase of what the Panther M10 can do. Again, kind of bizarre. The only, well, okay, there's two differences between the champion Panther M10 and the standard M10, Panther M10, and that is one, crew. You know, the standard Panther M10 can only take Germans. for crews, and then the champion Panther M10 can take both Germans and Americans for crew training. That's one difference. The only other difference is, and somebody please explain this one to me, a 6 point, not a 1 or a 2 point, which would be even weird as well, but KV5 as an example, and its counterpart, the monstrous twin. The monster has a 1 point difference in concealability, which, okay. But this thing has 6 points of difference, and I have no idea why that, why that is. But if that's the case, that there's absolutely no reason why I would really play my regular Panther M10 if all things are equal, because why not get an extra 6 points of concealability bonus? All right, so this is the last game that I'm going to share with you. I broke this thing out. Obviously I picked it up, played some games in it. I know you guys wanted to see a video. Well, not that I'm psychic, but you guys have literally asked for it in the posts of other videos. And so here you go. These are videos, replays of it. And this game, I got to tell you, this was not a mastery game, but this was one of those games where literally you have to decompress after the game because it is so darn exciting. This was a fun game, and this really showcased, in my opinion, how to play the Panther M10 or similar tanks. So here I am setting up, as you saw in the beginning, trying to get the eyes on the targets there. I spotted people, had to reposition, lose the spot, and now we're back and we're reset. I'm just kind of being quiet here and enjoying the game. Again, riding the ridge for the explanation that I've already explained. You do run the risk of showing your lower hull and that sort of thing, but it's all calculated risks there. Nice sweet shot there into the OE experimental. All right, there you go. Boom. See, that was a perfect showcase of the accuracy. All right, Tiger P, very tough nut to crack. And when he was looking at me, I gave it just a moment for him to aim in, and then I assumed he was going to fire at me, so I pulled back and again try to decrease my height, my elevation. Nice tasty side shot into that tier 7 Japanese heavy. Now you do get some lucky or you receive some lucky bounces as a Panther M10 at times with guns of this caliber, not the actual caliber, but I mean measurement, but I mean metaphorical caliber, this style, this level. But you'll find your spots on different tanks. Nice little blind shot there, kind of guessing, planning, calculating how his movement would be. But you'll find in different tanks, you'll find out where the little tickle spots are on each of the tanks. And I only have a drive wheel to play with there. And so there you go. As luck would have it, you're going to make some of the pens and some of them are going to bounce. But just keep up at it there, because you can see I only have a few seconds for a reload. So it's not too shabby. It's under 4 seconds. I am running chocolate, running fancy pants consumables. I do have Brothers in Arms, and I do have a Lucky Rabbit's Foot on the keychain that is stuck into the ignition of the tank. So I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I get the most out of the crew skills here. Oh, don't you hate that? He decided to change direction, so I missed. All right, so here's a low health Tiger P still, hanging on for dear life. Now, if you look at the score, it's 3-3. It's a lot of activity. It looks like both sides are doing some work. You don't have these lamos hanging out in the back sniping with their heavy tanks because they think they're TDs or something knuckleheadish like that. You actually have kind of a picket line here, and everyone seems to be working. It continually exchanges and remains even at 5-5 at this point in time. Okay, and now it's 6-5, but just keep an eye on what's going on, because this is a really good lesson. And I'm kind of talking to myself because I was running the Zizka, and it's just, you just get so aggressive, like the Cromwell, like any other tank that goes so fast, and you get yourself in trouble. But playing this tank, I slowed it down and just really let the tank do its job with the equipment. Don't force it to be something that it's not. Again, be very cognizant of popping around corners. You can see some premium rounds being fired at me there. Now, I'm getting spotted every so often here, and I could not figure out where it's coming from. There it is, 6 cents again. I'm thinking, look, there's a rock. Aha! There it is. It's the TD off in the distance, the T25/2. So he is a priority target. We need to get him off the playing field. Look at that nice side shot into that TD. That's a very high value asset they have. I just racked him. That's always good times. He's changing direction. Shooting at the engine deck in an attempt to try to cause a fire. Was unsuccessful at that. He went ahead and got away, but I got at least, approximately 4 shots into him. Now, I am keeping an eye on the mini-map. The mini-map is an underrated, underused tool that is extremely valuable in this game for situational awareness. I do have this heavy tank, and he is a tough nut to crack as well because he is a Japanese heavy. In fact, he's a tier 7 Japanese heavy of all things. Now, I missed, so we can't even talk about penning or not penning. Now, this is not a sprinting fast tank, and I mentioned this before about, I'm just going to swing around the corner and take this guy, and, this tank has a slow acceleration, so you cannot just whip out there like you are in a Cromwell, a Knight, or something along those lines. So what I need to do is force him, try to give him enough rope to hang himself with and make a mistake, because I am going to use his lack of turret rotation, his ground resistance, his hull rotation, all of these things I'm going to use against him. Now you have to understand, he is going to contemplate, which way I'm going, anticipate, and I figured, what, I'll go ahead and take one hit. And if it wasn't for the arty, which is super awesome that he rolled in there, I mean, that was very awesomely aggressive. But even if he didn't roll in there, once I took that one hit and I was sweeping around, it was a done deal for him. It was just a matter of time. So I was very confident I would have taken that tank. Again, you are going to be sniping, really opportunistic, very safe the way you play in the beginning. And then as things tone down, as tanks get involved with, sidetracked with other of your teammates, that's when you should jump on them. Now look at this. It's 3 tanks against 4. Now it's 2 tanks against 4. And here we go, fighting for our life. Just me and one heavy. I do have 900-ish points left, which is not too shabby. But a heavy tank, the artillery, I can get hurt very quickly, and we just don't want that happening, of course. Now, there was a medium behind me. I knew that, so what I would do is use my speed, my relative quickness, to try to go ahead and relocate. So that's what I'm doing there. I assumed that the artillery is off towards their original location. Got lucky being able to identify the location of the heavy, because intelligence is extremely important in any type of venture that you're doing, and knowing where the enemy is allows me to plan better. And there you go, low health craft. I see him, he doesn't see me. And again, using the angles, using these hills, you're going to do a lot of these side shots. You kind of have to expose your hull by doing a lot of this sideways to the enemy thing, but that's what's going to allow you to gain a few more degrees of gun depression, which sometimes makes sense for the risk. Now, this was extremely risky. I'm waiting for the arty to drop it on me. But sometimes you get lucky, even though it's very hardcore on the top there for that American turret. I was thinking I could possibly get some damage off of him, but I wasn't able to. Luckily, also, too, the Bulldog is a slow tank, so I'm not too worried about that. And I was able to up and over peek at him. He is done. So now it is 2-2 in regards to how many tanks are left. Interestingly, though, the score says 11-13, and if you can post in the credits, if you can post in the description an explanation as to why that is, I'm open to it. But I figured isn't it just a count of just the tanks? So here we go. Now he is spotted. He is turned sideways, which tells me in my mind I have at least 2 shots into him if he were to turn around. There you go. He didn't even try, so I got very good penetration because it was side shots, using those HE rounds. Now, if it was front on, some of these artillery do have some pretty decent armor, and it's kind of the same rules apply, and you may need to go with the AP, which would make more sense. Now, also, too, when it comes to premium rounds, some of you are going to say, oh, you're using premium rounds. Whatever. You know, it's my silver. I'll spend it how I want. You do whatever you want. I don't care if you shoot all 100% premium. But meanwhile, I will say premium rounds, you know, why do we use them? Do they increase your skill? Well, not really. I would argue they don't. All they do is they increase penetration. In most situations, it depends on what type of premium round, depends on who you're shooting at. But anyways, so that's pretty much the reason why you would do it. Well, why would you want to do that? Well, there's times when, right now, this is the game. I want to stay in the game. It's one tank. It's been a very good game. Well, I call them clutch rounds. You want to increase your chances there. I went ahead and racked him. I don't know if he repaired. But, you know, you're going to want to make sure that these things count. And on top of that, the British Bulldog, the Churchill 7, it has some pretty decent armor, if you, depending on where you shoot it. So I'm not going to take a risk. I'm a tier 7. It's, you know, he's a tier 6. That's not that much of a discrepancy. So I am going to go ahead and use those premium rounds with aplomb. Now, I'm trying to decide, is he going to poke out one side or the other? He has an extremely quick rate of fire. He actually went back, not just to the side. I misjudged. He was able to put some into me there for only a few points, though. All right, so now I'm trying to get, okay, almost. There we go, and no, he pulls forward. Now, here's the thing. I've got 4 minutes left, kind of a lot, kind of not. I am not going to sit there and let him know where I am. Oh, just a little too steep there. I am not going to sit there and let him know where I am and get comfortable with it and start planning in his head how he's going to tackle the two of us. I'm going to make it as difficult as possible for him, and I'm going to flank him and use, again, his speed against him because he is not very fast. Now, what's nice here is I'm up and over, and I'm using this tank as cover just in case he were to turn and look at me. Here's another choice, too. Here's where the greed kicks in. I absolutely want to get more pens into him and, of course, kill him for the glory and the points and the fun. But the thing is, gosh, do I take the long way around and miss out on potential fighting? But here he pops out. So I'm going to get 1 round into him, 2 rounds into him. So it seemed to be the best way to go. 3 rounds into him. 4. Nice. And no. So, oh, is he going to pull back out? Am I going to get a chance? I'm not sure. So now as they're fighting it out, I may not get the chance to kill this guy. So I am hurrying and I'm hoping, come on, buddy. I want my teammate to stay alive. But on the other hand, I don't want him to kill him. And, oh, I snapshotted it. It didn't work out. And boom, there you go. And there are times to do an auto aim and there are times not to do an auto aim. And this was a time to not do an auto aim. So there you go. That was a ton of pens. It was a very, very enjoyable game. I mean, it was fun. I had to really, really think. It was a chess game using tanks. So there you go. First class and a whole bunch of salad up there. And gosh, most importantly, 31 pens. And not fires, I mean literally penetration. So they definitely put some work in. Just under 4,000 damage, only 375 assisted damage, but you can see this can be an earner like pretty much most of the tanks. I mean, it's up to you, not the tank, in my opinion. Some people talk about tanks sucking or whatnot, but you know, it's play style, knowing how to use it, and of course a lot of it is luck. Who's on your team, what's on the opposite team, and of course matchmaking. So there you go. So you've seen it. You've lived it right there along with me. I don't know if you won, which side you were on, or even if you participated. Let me know. Put in the comments. Let me know if you were on the Germans, Americans, you didn't play at all. But most importantly, the continued participation in the channel, in the community, helping keep this channel alive and growing. Only with your help does this channel continue to move forward and grow, and I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you later. Girls, you said you had something you wanted to ask them?
Do you guys like our channel? Then please donate and keep our channel running.
Well, that was a nice thought, girls, but you know what comes next.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are one of the 47 Ronin. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.